Today we celebrate, as I said, the last Sunday of the liturgical Christmas season, the Feast of the Epiphany, the revelation of God to the whole world. And in this particular Sunday, three mysterious figures take center stage in the gospel. We know them as the three kings, the wise men, and we call them the Magi. But in reality, we don't know truly a whole lot about them. What little we do know, we just heard from the gospel according to Matthew. We're told that they came from the east, but we do not know what country they came from. They could have come from multiple countries. We hear they came to do homage to a newborn king of the Jews, but we're not sure why. Why this obscure child born in an obscure area like Bethlehem, why would they attract someone coming from so large a distance away? We're not even sure there were three of them or that they were kings, because Matthew calls them Magi, which was really a term for astrologers. And we're not sure even if there were three of them, because Matthew doesn't tell us that. Matthew says some Magi from the east came. And there could have been several of them. Part of the reason that we probably have said there's three kings is because they brought three gifts. But, there could have been several people with three gifts. In fact, in India, I believe it's either between 11 or 12 Magi they have around their nativity scene. But one thing that we can be pretty sure of, though, that whoever they were or how many there were, they were not women. If they had been women, they would have asked for directions and arrived on time. They would help deliver the child. They would have cleaned the stable, made a casserole, and brought useful gifts like diapers instead of useless gifts of cold frankincense and myrrh. But there, more seriously, are many lessons we could learn from the story of the Magi in today's gospel. We could point first to their courage for even beginning the journey. Travel couldn't have been easy riding upon camels, going through terrible roads and being possible victims of attacks by thieves. They were perseverant in trying to find where the child was. Sometimes they lost their direction to the star and they were misled perhaps by other people, but they were persevering to come to find this child. And they had a sense of faith. There was something about this child that they had heard made it worthwhile to make this journey. But I'd like to focus today not so much on that time and what happened, but rather ask the question, what gifts are we willing to give to Jesus in this new year of 2018? What are we going to do for Jesus in this year of 2018? I read a wonderful story about a holy elderly woman. It's a fable. It's not a true story, but I think it has a wonderful message. She was a woman who was very faithful in reading the Bible and knew what the prophets had projected and said. And she knew that the long-awaited Savior would be born in Bethlehem. And so she moved to David's city. She moved to Bethlehem, where she took on and lived a very simple life. She prayed daily that God would let her know when the Savior was to be born. She really wanted to know that. And she wanted to offer a gift of all her humble possessions. She was a simple woman, didn't have a lot. But she accumulated what she could so that she could give this wholeheartedly as a gift to the Lord. One night while she was sleeping, she heard a knock at the door, and she got up with her lamp and answered the door. And to her surprise, there were three strangers with camels standing at the outside of her door. And they proclaimed, "The Savior is born, and we have come from the east to worship him. And we were told in a dream to to stop here first and bring you along with us because you too have a gift to give to the Lord. And the elderly woman was so excited and filled with joy and excitement because this was what she wanted so badly, to be able to go to this newborn child. But it was late and cold that night, and she told the three wise men, that she would bring her gifts in the morning. She didn't want to go out in that cold. She's a lot smarter than they were. And so she stayed in the house. And she carefully wrote down the exact directions she received from the three men. So early the next morning, she gathered her gifts that she had put aside for the new king. She got some food, some clothing, and some pocket money. And she followed exactly the written directions that she was given. The stable, when she got there, was empty. The Holy Family had left. And she was upset at herself for not going the night before when the three wise men invited her. But she was a very determined woman. And she said, I'll keep looking for them. They must be nearby. So she asked everyone she met on the streets, did you know of a child or a poor child, perhaps to be found in a manger, perhaps even living on these streets? And some people didn't have much to reply. Others said, well, I know a poor family who lived on the outskirts of the city. Another one said, I knew of a child who was sick. And others heard of strangers who were in town with no place to stay. And so the elderly woman visited all of those people. But she was never certain that these were the ones that the three men told her about. So she continued to look week after week, month after month. She found many children poor everywhere she went. She found many a cradle, many a manger, and many a mother nursing her child. And in each of those places, she left a part of the gift that she was going to give to the Christ child. Slowly gave it away. At one place, she gave away her food. Another place, she left some money for the family to do what they needed to do. Sometime in another place, she left the clothes that she had brought with her for a child. In time, after many visits around, she had nothing left. And so she went home empty-handed and very disappointed. And that night, Jesus appeared to her in a dream. There you are, she exclaimed. I've been looking for you everywhere and could not find you. I had gifts to give you, but now they're all gone. And she heard Jesus say, I know, and I have received every one of those gifts. For whatever you gave to the least of my brothers and sisters, you gave to me. And the old woman smiled and she was satisfied. She had not seen the Christ child in the manger, but she had lived his gospel. She had lived his message. We cannot ourselves here go to the Magi to Bethlehem, with the Magi to Bethlehem, but we can offer Christ our gifts. Not gifts necessarily of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, but rather gifts of respect, compassion, love, and charity. This is the greatest gift that we can give to the Lord. When we do it to the least of our brothers and sisters, we do it to him.